Typhoon Tapah resurfaces and destroys Henan, China. Zhengzhou, September 11th. The phenomenon has returned with a vengeance, hitting central provinces and leaving millions of students out of school and tens of thousands of residents evacuated. Typhoon Tapah has brought torrential rains and massive flooding to central China. Henan is the hardest hit province, with cities completely flooded and thousands of people forced to evacuate. Zhengzhou, Kaifeng, Luoyang, and Xinxiang have been left underwater. The drainage system collapsed in less than 24 hours with more than 180 millimeters of rain. The flooding has paralyzed urban mobility. More than 65 bus routes were suspended and main streets turned into rivers. Henan authorities declared a Level 1 emergency. The scale of the rescue operation is unprecedented in the region. More than 8,800 rescue teams have been deployed, with 164,000 personnel on the scene. The use of 21,000 specialized pieces of equipment, including high-capacity pumps, has been key to containing the emergency. In just one day, 16,800 people were evacuated from critical areas. Rescue vehicles mobilized in convoys to assist trapped residents. Neighboring provinces are also suffering severe impacts. Shaanxi, Guizhou, and Yunnan are facing flash floods in mountainous areas. Local rivers surged in just a few hours, generating avalanches of water in rural communities. Roads were blocked by landslides. In Yunnan, several villages were cut off due to collapsed road infrastructure. The population was isolated under persistent rain conditions. In Shaanxi, the situation worsened with highway closures. Hundreds of trains were suspended due to saturation of the tracks. Regional transportation is severely compromised. Supply logistics are facing prolonged delays in the central provinces. The map of central China shows an entire swathe under emergency conditions. The rains have swept across multiple provinces simultaneously. The Central Plains are the most visible areas of damage. Densely populated cities remain covered in stagnant water. In Kaifeng, low-lying neighborhoods were completely submerged. Water levels reached levels that made it impossible for families to remain in their homes. In Luoyang, heavy transport routes were rendered unusable. Even specialized trucks could not cross critical areas. The economic effects are beginning to be felt. Road blockages are disrupting the flow of trade within Henan and to neighboring provinces. The rainfall has maintained a consistent pattern since the night of September 10th. As of the 11th, there are no signs of abating. Meteorologists warn that this is an unusual phenomenon. Normally, a cyclone loses strength, but Tapah has intensified the rainfall since its supposed disappearance. The combination of moisture absorbed from the sea and cold air from the north created a rain factory over central China. The phenomenon results in a stationary storm system. This prolongs flooding in already saturated provinces. The risk of new landslides continues to increase. In the mountainous areas of Guizhou and Yunnan, the terrain remains unstable. Internal communications are failing. In many rural villages, there is no access to telephones or electricity. The impact on infrastructure is severe. Transportation stations, educational centers, and public spaces remain closed in Zhengzhou and neighboring cities. In Guangxi province, intense rainfall has unleashed violent currents that have descended from the mountains into the valleys, sweeping away rural roads and leaving several communities isolated. Landslides have buried entire stretches of roads, while dozens of homes have been rendered uninhabitable by mudslides. In Guizhou, the incessant rain has caused normally calm rivers to suddenly rise. Residents have seen their riverbeds burst their banks in a matter of hours, flooding farmland and submerging entire villages. The destruction has left hundreds of farming families who depend on these lands without a livelihood. In Yunnan, the moisture-soaked mountains have given way in multiple places, generating mudslides that have buried vehicles and blocked main roads. Several villages have been cut off as rescue teams struggle to clear a path amid treacherous conditions and relentless rain. Shaanxi province has also been severely hit by the intensity of the rainfall. Major stretches of highways have been closed due to landslides and subsidence caused by soil saturation. Flooding has paralyzed rail transport, affecting not only passengers but also the supply of essential goods. In Henan, the epicenter of the disaster, the rains have submerged entire neighborhoods and cities, such as Kaifeng and Zhengzhou. Urban flooding has turned streets into makeshift canals, with residents displaced and businesses paralyzed. Excess water has collapsed the drainage system, further exacerbating the emergency. Further north, in rural areas of Shaanxi, the rains have saturated dams and reservoirs, forcing emergency releases that have in turn flooded downstream communities. Crop fields have been submerged, and thousands of hectares of rice and corn have been destroyed, anticipating a severe impact on the regional agricultural economy.